We had a perfect ending to the first half with, was it a Man Ki Baat or was it a panel discussion? I do not distinguish, but it was a Man Ki Baat. And with that, we had the perfect roundup of the session number 1, the pre-lunch. And in the first sessions, we had macro view, micro view, and experiences. Now let's talk about money. For any businesses, you need funds, and one of the way of raising funds is listing on the Bombay stock equity markets. So we have with us Mr. Ajay Thakur from Bombay Stock Exchange. He's head of SME listings on the BSE. May I request Rotary and Seaman to please welcome his flowers. Rotary and Seaman, welcome in flowers and introduce him and invite him to speak. Mr. Ajay Thakur.
Good afternoon. I have the pleasure of introducing to you all Mr. Ajay Thakur, a professional with more than 2 decades of experience in the capital markets, spanning India's biggest custodian to India's biggest and largest stock exchange. The key roles have been setting up depository by the regional stock exchange, developing derivatives market, and setting up the SME platform. Mr. Ajay Thakur started the career back in 1994 with Stock Holding Corporation of India as a senior executive market operations. After working for 1 year, he joined the Vadodara Stock Exchange in 1995 as senior management executive, looking after the various departments like market operations, bat delivery cell, and auction. He was also assigned with the role to set up the depositories by Vadodara Stock Exchange Limited. He later joined the BSE in 96 as head of arbitration and development. He has developed the derivative segment of BSE and also actively involved in the opening of regional centers across the country. Presently, as head of BSE SME, he is responsible for the development of the segment of BSE Limited. He has very successfully launched the BSE platform, SME platform on 13 March 2012, and thus BSE Limited became the first exchange to launch this platform. Today, BSE Limited is the market leader in this segment with 93% market shares. Within 3 years, this platform has 117 companies listed and another 23 are on their way to get listed. The success of this platform has brought a lot of enthusiasm in the market, and more companies and market intermediaries are coming forward to get their companies listed on this platform. Ladies and gentlemen, I introduce to you Mr. Ajay Thakur.
Distinguished guests, organizer, a very good afternoon to all of you. In fact, in the first session, our MD and CEO said that by getting your company listed on BSE, you are going to create wealth. In fact, if you see, and normally we say that if you are seeing that logo, it says 140 BSE. We are into existence for last 140 years and very proudly say that we are older than the oldest political party of this country, that is Indian National Congress. In fact, we came into existence in 1875 and INC came into existence in 1885. But in last 140 years, we have been able to list 5,600 companies only. Whereas in India, if you see the whole number of companies, whether it's proprietorship concern or partnership concern or limited company, altogether we have got around 50 million companies. and out of which just getting 5,600 companies listed is not a big task that we have done for all these years. But these 5,600 companies, and again, out of 5,600 companies, 3,000 companies are traded actively on single day. But these companies have created a market capitalization of 99 lakh crores. So it's a huge market capitalization, almost $1.2 trillion of market capitalization that BSE alone has created. And if you see in last 10 years, we have not seen Reliance getting created, we have not seen Infosys getting created, we have not seen Wipro getting created. And the main reason for starting this SME platform was that to attract the SME companies on Bombay Stock Exchange, we all know, and I don't have to say that what is the contribution of SME to the Indian economy. In fact, almost all speakers talk about their contribution, so there is no reason to repeat the same. But we all are aware that it's a backbone of economy. But the contribution, if you see in India, is just 8% to the Indian economy, 8% to the GDP, whereas in other countries, it ranges between 50% to 70%. At the same time, SME is biggest contributor to the employment. A country like India, where we have got a population of almost 126 to 127 crores, we need to provide employment in another 10 years to 25 crore young people. If we are not going to give employment, we can see law and order situation getting created in India. And the biggest contributor to the employment are the SME, small, medium enterprises. I am not talking about macro, because today we are going to talk about small and medium enterprises. And the way we have formed the guidelines on SME platform, it's again meant for small and medium enterprises. Before I am going to talk on the regulations, what are the regulations, let me talk about the benefits of listing, why the company should get listed on the stock exchange. And unless until we understand the benefits of listing, the rules and regulations or the cost associated to it will not make any sense. In fact, there are many things that is associated to listing. Number one, of course, fundraising, that everybody knows that fund is very important for any company. But besides fund, besides finance, there are many other things which are associated to getting the company listed. And if those things comes into the company, I don't think the fund will become a difficult task. The major companies, what happens when a promoter forms a company? He either forms the company through internal funds, internal accruals, or take the loan from the companies, try to increase the turnover, try to increase the clients, try to increase the base. And after that, they stop. But at the same time, when I talk to other people who provide finance, other institutions who provide finance to the SME company, I come to know that there is a lack of transparency in the company, there is a lack of corporate governance into the company. So how to achieve all these things? I think listing provides that. When the company gets listed, the first thing that happens into the company is that transparency comes into the company. Corporate governance comes into the company. The visibility of the company increases manifold. And because of all these things coming into place, the balance sheet gets stronger. Because of the equity debt ratio, the balance sheet gets stronger. And because of coming all these things into the company, we see the company's turnover going up, at the same time bottom line also going up. In last 4 years, we have done around 450 seminars across the country. In fact, myself, I am away for 200 days out of 365 days in a single year. I have met around 15,000 companies, 15,000 promoters. And in most of these cases, what I found that the top line was very strong. The turnover may be ranging from 50 crores to 500 to 600 crores. But bottom line was very bad. Somewhere it was 15 lakhs, 25 lakh, 50 lakh, and maximum to 2 crores to 3 crores, depending upon which sector the company is. And most of the places, maybe there may be taxation model because of which they are not showing the profit. But one of the reason was over-leveraged company. Most of the companies are going for debt funding. They don't have any equity funds into the company, because of which we are seeing that the bottom line is very low. And many of the times it gives me an impression that promoters are earning for paying the debts. So we need to make these companies strong. And we are meeting to the companies, we are talking to the companies, we are telling them that why don't you are going for equity funds? But they are fear in the minds of the promoters. Many of the promoters ask us that we have come to know that by getting the company listed, we have to do a lot of compliances. Some other set of people say that by getting the company listed, they are fear of taking over the company. So all these unknown fears are there in the minds of the promoters. So our main job, BSE's main job, was to create the awareness in the minds of the promoters, talk about the benefits of listing to the promoters. And what we told the promoters that if you want to run the company smoothly, if you want to run the company fast, you have to depend on both debt as well as equity. These are two wheels of the same vehicle. Unless until you use both the wheels, you will not be able to move fast. And we have started getting the traction into the SME platform. First 1 year, it was very difficult. And other challenge what we were facing is that there are 2-3 guidelines that have been introduced in SME platform, which were not on the main board. Number one was market making for 3 years. So market making is nothing but a broker has to provide two-way quotes. He has to be ready to buy and also ready to sell at a spread. Say, for example, a company gets listed at 50 rupees. He should be ready to buy at 50 rupees and ready to sell at 53 rupees. So he should always remain in the market with this spread. So that was the one concept which was introduced. And this market making has to be done for 3 years. The another concept which was introduced was 100% underwritten issues. This issue can't fail. If the issue gets subscribed, even 50%, the rest 50% has to be subscribed by the merchant banker. So there was no reason for the issue to get failed. Once the issue gets open, after that, it must have to be listed on the stock exchange. So this was another fear in the minds of the merchant banker, the intermediaries. And third was the concept of lot size. So the minimum lot size here was kept at rupees 1 lakh. So if somebody is coming with, again, 50 rupees issue price, then the minimum lot size will be of 2,000. So if somebody wants to buy shares, he has to buy 2,000, minimum 2,000 shares or multiple thereof. And if he wants to sell the shares, he has to buy minimum 2,000 or multiple thereof. So these 3 concepts have been introduced with which the intermediaries were not comfortable. So it was a big challenge for BSE also to launch this SME platform. Though we were struggling to launch this SME platform since 2011, ultimately we got success by launching this SME platform on 13th March 2012. And we became the first stock exchange to launch SME platform. We were the first stock exchange to start equity culture in this country. And we also became the first stock exchange to start this SME platform because we were knowing that if we have to grow the economy, if we have to contribute to the economy, and in whatever way we can contribute, let us try to do that. And that's the reason that we have gone few yards ahead and launched this SME platform on 13th March 2012 and becoming the first stock exchange to launch this SME platform. The first 1.5 years was very difficult. In fact, we have hardly got 8 to 10 companies. Many of the places what we found that the promoters and the intermediaries have signed the mandate, and after that they have cancelled those mandates. So it was very difficult for us. We were continuously meeting, and somehow the process evolved. And today what we have seen that almost 117 companies got listed on this BSE SME platform. Another 25 companies are in pipeline. And I have been told that another 50, 60 companies, the merchant bankers and the promoters have signed a mandate. And maybe by next year end, we will see 200 companies getting listed on this stock exchange. But that is not our goal. Our goal is to see that at least 5,000 to 6,000 companies get listed on this SME platform. Because if 117 companies on an SME platform can create a market capitalization of 10,000 crores, then 5,000, 6,000 companies will create a market capitalization of, I think, 1 lakh crore. And that will be a big contribution to the GDP, that will be a big contribution to the economy. At the same time, we have also launched SME IPO index on 14 December 2012 with 100 as a base. And today it is quoting somewhere around 790. So it has already given a return of 690% to most of the SME companies. Now another thing what I have talked about is the corporate governance, the transparency that has come into the company. We have also found that in some of the companies where the interest rate was high, because of the listing and because of the increase in profitability, even the banks have reduced the interest rate. At many places, we tell the promoters that you please, if you are going for debt, if you are going for loan to the banks, have you ever thought that why the banks which are giving you loan have got listed on the stock exchange? Can you please tell the name of a single bank which is not listed on the stock exchange? So if the banks can get listed on the stock exchange which are providing you loan, why you can't think of listing your own company? So all these things, and what we are targeting is that at least 1 or 2 companies get listed from 400 cities of this country. And if around 500, 600 or 700 companies will get listed on the SME platform, then we don't have to market all these concepts to other companies, because then other companies, those fears will go out of the minds of the promoters, and those promoters will come forward and get their company listed. We are continuously telling them to come out of the taxation model and go for wealth creation model. Say, for example, if a company is showing 1 crore of profit, it can get a market capitalization between 15 crores to 30 crores, depending upon which sector the company belongs to. But if the profit will go up from 1 crore to 5 crore, and additionally, if they have to pay 30% tax of, say, 1 crore 20 lakh, but by giving 1 crore 20 lakh of tax, the market capitalization can go anywhere between 75 crores to 120 crores. So just by paying 1 crore 20 lakh rupees tax, additional tax, the company's market capitalization is jumping by 60 crores to 80 crores. So all these things we are trying to put in the minds of the promoters. Every day we are seeing that the mandates are getting signed between the promoters and the merchant bankers. And very soon we see a lot of companies getting listed on the stock exchange. Now the task is becoming more and more simpler for us. Everywhere we are going with the bankers. We are coming for this type of events. And we are started observing that these things have started bringing a lot of good results for us. And very soon we will find a lot of companies listed on BSE SME platform. As far as stock exchange is concerned, BSE is concerned, we are going to give red carpet welcome to all the SME companies or the merchant bankers or any intermediary associated with them to BSE. And at the same time, we will like to say to the promoters, all those promoters who have come here and who are fearing with the compliances, let me tell you all the compliances that you are doing on today as a private limited company. Because as per New Companies Act 2013, whether you are an unlisted company or a listed company, you have to do the same set of compliance. So better get listed on the stock exchange, create valuation for yourself, create valuation for all the stakeholders associated with it, with yourself, give more and more employment to all the people. And in all these places where you are doing compliance, where excise tax, service tax, income tax, professional tax, sales tax, all other places, you are giving money. But by getting your company listed on the stock exchange, you will get money and you will create wealth for everybody. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Ajay ji. And I think most of us who are in SME business are wanting to start. I'm very sure you'll be the most sought-after person by them. And you've also mentioned how much percentage increase it has happened on the exchange. Now, may I request Kailash ji to please recognize Ajay ji with a moment of appreciation token. Now, after the session of raising equity on the stock exchange, now also let's look at about how is private equity available for startups and how the opportunities can be leveraged by them. For this, May I request our President G. Subramaniam to please welcome Mr. Madhuprasad and introduce him and invite him to speak.
Good evening, all of you. Good evening. Yeah, it's working. Yes. See, after hearing that how the company can be listed on the stock exchange, but the promoter should be guided properly on the issue management, how he can, what are the modalities, nitty-gritties, etc. So Madhuprasad, he is my friend. Madhuprasad is here. He is known as issue management person in the Bombay capital market. So let me introduce something about Madhuprasad. So he is the chairman of Keynote Corporate Services. He is a CA rank holder, and he worked with Punjab National Bank. The capital market subsidiary is called the PNB Caps. And the Keynote Capital Services is the Corporate Services is the category 1 merchant banker, and is very familiar. And he's managed so many issues in the Bombay market for other clients also. Presently, the chairman of the Keynote Capital Services, providing guidance to the investment banking team, right from capital structuring to regulatory provisions of the SEBI, and he handled more than 500 public and rights issues. His achievement, we can say, by any standard. Sir, let us clap. Because I know that I'm in issue management also. I also handled the issues as a category 1 merchant banker. The handling issues, one issue we handle it, you will become hero. So 500 issues means he has become hero by 500 times. And he also completed over 60 transactions of takeover and buyout, and presently chairman of the Association of Investment Bankers of India, and member of the Primary Market Advisory Committee of SEBI, and member of the SME Advisory Committee on NSE. And being a chartered accountant, he has submitted so many papers on the capital market also. In the Western India Regional Conference of Institute of Chartered Accountants of India, he presented a paper on the accounting for the new financial instruments. He has been visiting faculty to so many B schools like Narsi Monji, etc. Had been a guest speaker at NIBM Pune, visiting faculty at this institute, BSE Training Institute, and Indian Institute of Capital Market. So he's a legend, he's a known name, and if any SME entrepreneur wants to go for the market, issue management, etc., and you cannot go without Madhuprasad. That much I can say in the Bombay market. Sir, over to you, sir.
Very good evening to all of you, and thank you, Mr. Subramaniam. This convention hall has been a historical place where a lot of great occasions have taken place, and I can share with you, this is the place where a lot of SME companies have rung the bell for the listing function. That means it's a great opportunity to be on this platform and to discuss on the startups and also to discuss about the private equity that would be available. Before I get on to this subject, I would only like to share in this place what normally used to happen on a seminar is that I get an opportunity to talk, and I feel that people are enjoying, the delegates are enjoying, and the organizer used to come and tell me, please continue for another 5 minutes. And I also used to continue thinking that my speech is being well heard, and I used to continue for another 5 minutes. And again, the organizer used to come back again and say, please continue for another 5 minutes. I used to wonder, is my speech so very interesting that they are going to be listening and listening? So I asked the organizer, sir, what is the problem? So you're asking me to continue and continue. He said, the next speaker has not come. But today, fortunately, we have all the speakers available, some of the best people, some of the best bankers available to you. But when I have to come on to the SME and also on the startups, believe me, we have been trying to find out what should be the definition of a startup. When I say I have to find out the definition of a startup, you will be pleased to note that yes, only in August 2015, we had in our ICDR SEBI guidelines a chapter 10C modified. When I say modified, there was a chapter 10C which talked of an institutional trading platform to raise money but only to get listed. But this was changed. They said there are a lot of startups, they would like to have the benefit of the fund and have a separate platform where the resource could also be raised, and that is the reason you have a chapter 10C. And a chapter 10B of the ICDR talks only of the SME. As very rightly put up by Mr. Ajay, on the various things which have been happening, including the market making and the lot size, there has been a lot of representation made so that more and more people on the SME can participate. But my experience when I go for a venture capitalist or asking them to get listed onto the exchange platform is on two counts. Most important is on the finances, and number two, on the compliances. I really look at some companies where the company does a turnover of 200 crores, 250 crores, and best of the product line. When I look at the profitability, the bottom line, he says, I make 1.5 crores. I don't know what is the percentage of return which you are getting. Would you continue to be in a business where on a turnover of 250 crores, do so much of efforts and earn only 1.5 crores? Then he quietly tells me, sir, a lot of taxes have to be paid, so we conserve the taxes. I said, conserve the taxes? I said, pay the taxes and show the profits. That's what the market wants. Second, when I again ask them a question on why your equity capital is just 50 lakhs and 1 crore of rupees, when you are having a 250 crore turnover, ideally you should have at least about 8 to 10 crores of capital, and then if you have that kind of a capital, you are fit to be listed on the exchange also. Then I said, no sir, lot of money has to be paid for increasing the authorized capital. I said, no, please don't look at it from this angle. The authorized capital, by making the payment, you are also denying yourself of a bonus which you can do it. You are not capitalizing your company. You have the reserves available to you. When do you do it? At a time close to a public issue. And when you do that, it comes into the eyes of the public, because as an investor, I would think that all these days you never paid bonus and today you are taking a bonus for yourself. So, the preparatory work for an SME and to raise money is very, very important. Very importantly, it's not the wealth creation alone. You are creating not only wealth for you, creating wealth for others. And when I say for others, you can ask a question, why should I? But believe me, if you don't create wealth for others, you don't create wealth for yourself. Because a market capitalization or anything related to price in the market, the multiples is available to you as well as to an ordinary investor. So basically, when we were looking at SMEs to come in large numbers to the exchange, whether at the Bombay Stock Exchange or the National Stock Exchange, I have to be neutral. So that's why there are two exchanges which are doing on the SME. And therefore, one is an emerged platform, one is our BSE SME platform, where he rightly said 118 companies, and there about 10 and 11 companies. But let's not compare that. At a time when we talk of startups getting funding, and more importantly, the theme of the conference today of Make in India, I said that if we are going to talk of Make in India, let us also say make it happen in India. So if you want to say make it happen in India, it's very, very important that SME sector, whatever importance that is given, is not neglected. When I say it is not neglected, as a banker, I am willing to lend money to him. But when I lend money to him, let me also take a conscious decision that why not a portion of the money be written off as an underwriting and taken an exposure. It's a balance sheet risk because the investment, if below cost, has to be provided for. Agreed. But if I am looking at this sector to grow, these sectors do grow, I think you would have heard of a lot of examples which would have been given in the morning where a lot of companies from small have gone very, very big. That was possible only because they could capitalize themselves from time to time. The second aspect which was preventing some of these SME getting fund, whether I talk of going to a private equity or to any organized investor, is that on a corporate governance. What is corporate governance? Governance should be in the blood. I don't say that I every day breathe. No. You say that I go for a walk, that's accepted. But I do not say that I am breathing every day. It is supposed to be done, otherwise you will not be lived. So, in a company, especially in a small and medium enterprises, data is available. It takes the data for a qualitative analysis, but that data is not put in a structured form. If it is put in a structured form, compliance becomes very easy. We are always afraid of the fact, and I do not know why our lawmakers put law in such a fashion by saying that if you don't file it by 30th of September, every day there will be a fine of 5,000. Why don't you look at a law from this angle? If you file it before 25th of September, I will give you 5,000. See the impact. What I'm trying to say is that a negativity on a compliance has been built up. That means, how would you remove this negativity? The negativity can be removed by telling that, yes, I am having these compliances. My calendar of events will ensure that at least 2 weeks before the date on which it has to be done, my compliances will be completed. Very unfortunate when I go to a private equity is that in August I go to the private equity funder and tell them that, sir, this is a company, I want about 10 crores of rupees. Number one, transaction sizes have grown large. When you bring a small transaction size, the interest is not generated. If you have to generate interest, I will have to prove that I am a quality SME and therefore my products are good and I am in a position to deliver. When I say this, and when I present a paper in August to one of the private equity, making him to accept the proposal, what is the first question he asks is, sir, what about the balance sheet for the March ending of that particular year? I have to cut a sorry figure by saying that it is under preparation. If I get you listed and if there are certain dates to be followed, and if you tell me that I am going to be filing my data, financial information late, obviously the private equity lender is going to look at you from the angle that what type of compliance will be there, how will he be utilizing the funds that is being given. But very relevant here is that today a very great element of compliance is getting into the mind thanks to the conferencing that has been done at various SME platforms where they have been impressed upon and they take a cue from this. I can also share examples where some of the people who have come attended a conference being an old students of a college or a management institution, and I notice that they are professionals and they come to you quietly and tell you, sir, I am doing a 20 crore turnover for the past 3 years. I am into an engineering services business. Can I come out with an issue in SME platform? Then you take a cue from that and you find out that yes, they have best of the names associated being in an air conditioning business. And when you look at this, you feel that yes, this is a right candidate. And I'm very happy he could raise the money genuinely, get the money, get himself listed also. Yes, the pricing is one of the very, very crucial thing. Please do not believe in pricing alone. Please also believe that fund requirement, if comes to me, it's going to take me to the next level. That's what exactly we did with the company. The market cap has gone 3 times its existing equity. And very, very importantly, all the people with whom he has an association, some of the big names, they have all appreciated and they've said that, yes, looking forward to have more and more business association. That means the visibility that would be created by being in an exchange and also getting a market capitalization is something which cannot be forgotten. Number 2, The most important thing which has been on to SME and the promoter is that the passion to hold the company, and more importantly, to say that I should be a majority holder of the shares. Thanks to the listing requirement, you just dilute 25%. Keep the 75% with you. And as very rightly said, today's Companies Act 2013 is so very strict, it doesn't make any distinction between a listed company or an unlisted company. It tells you to put a lot of governances in practice. So if that be the case, why should I not get myself listed, resource raised, and take it forward? Very important. One of the conditions which was laid down when this was put in place, that informed investors should come into this platform. Number two, financial closure has to be there. That means if I'm underwriting an issue, that underwriting is a serious underwriting. When I say it is a serious underwriting, I cannot riddle out in case the issue doesn't subscribe. That means that comfort level is already built up. Why don't we look at for a moment in this fashion? Spate of main board issues have come. And have they created assets? Maybe they had created assets about 3-4 years ago through a private equity. And in most of the cases you would have seen, they were all offered for sale. Why should I not look as an SME, the crowdfunding? I am known to people in and around my industrial belt and collect that money. And thanks to the yesterday's SEBI board meeting, where it's been cleared that 49 plus up to 200 will not be treated as a private placement. For which you would have seen about 6 months ago, lots of orders were passed asking them to refund the money, where they had just surpassed by 1 or 2. That means today you have an advantage to float a document, and very importantly, I'm not going to the regulator for permission, you're going to the exchange. The exchange gives you permission to launch the issue. It's a process which is very fast. Only thing, you have to be ready with the compliances. Only thing, you have to be ready, assure yourself by saying that if I take the money, I will deliver. So that means you are placed in a situation that today all things are being put in place, both by the regulator, by the merchant bankers, and also by the exchange. So there is a great, great opportunity. I think I have talked for 10-15 minutes. I should open the floor for questions because lots and lots of things can be talked. One, analyzing various companies which have gone into the various exchanges. And more importantly, having been into this business for over 30 years, the transaction of a 40 lakhs and 60 lakhs and a crore of rupees was listed on this exchange as a main board issue. But today, even a 25 crore issue and a money of 25 crores can be raised in an SME platform. So that means you can see the variety of growth that has taken place. We have not talked in terms of only fixed price. We have talked of book building. We have talked of building a price discovery. These things, if it has happened, that means it's a great, great advantage for all the people who are aspiring entrepreneurs who would like to expand their company. A great opportunity is there. I think I have tried to explain in a nutshell, yes, the availability of finance is there, merchant bankers are there, exchange is there, regulation is friendly. Let us take advantage of this. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for a very lucid explanation about raising funds for the SMEs on the exchange. I think with both the speakers, Ajay Thakur ji and you, have made it amply clear how can the funds be available for SMEs. And may I request our Assistant Governor, Sureka Matre ji, to please recognize him with a moment on our behalf. Thank you, Suresh. Thank you, Surekha ji. Now we have come to the second last, but the most widely awaited creme de la creme session of the evening. And we would be having a panel discussion with the galaxy of financial luminaries available with us. All of them, who's who is available with us, and we're proud to have them with us. And I would now request, this is a panel discussion. Now may I request Lieutenant Suresh Babu to please come. For the next 90 minutes, Suresh Babu will be taking us through this panel discussion, which will be chaired by Mr. K.V. Srinivasan, CEO of Reliance Commercial Finance. Suresh Babu. When now? Yeah. Okay. There is one request which we have received, that we would like to have few Q&A with the previous two speakers. So we now may I request, is Ajay Thakur ji here? Yeah. And Madhu ji? Madhuprasad. Now we have the floor open for questions to both these gentlemen for any of your financial related issues or raising funds, how listing exchange requirements, before we go to the last penultimate session of the panel discussion. We have both of them here, and I got a request, so before we can set up the stage. Yeah. Can we have a mic there, please?
Listing requirements. See, as far as eligibility criteria is concerned on BSE SME platform, we have got 3 eligibility criteria. One is post-issue paid-up capital should be minimum 3 crores. Net tangible assets should be minimum 3 crores. And net worth should be minimum 3 crores with 2 years of distributable profits. In case the company is not 3 years old, say it's 1 year old or 1.5 years or 2 years old, then the minimum net worth requirement is 5 crores. So these are the 3 requirements. Besides that, we don't want any company which has been referred to BIFR or any close-up petition is filed against the company which has been accepted by the High Court. So these are the requirements. If any company fulfill these requirements, they can get listed on the BSE SME platform. At the same time, we don't go as per the guidelines of MSME Act. So MSME Act says that maximum investment in plant and machinery should be 10 crores. We don't go as per that definition. For us, the definition of SME is any company having post-issue paid-up capital less than 25 crores qualify under SME definition. So whether the investment in plant and machinery is 50 lakhs or 500 crores or 1000 crores, till the time post-issue paid-up capital is below 25 crores, the company can get listed on SME platform. With minimum 25% they have to dilute to the public, and 1.25% they have to give to the market makers. 1.25% shares they have to reserve for the market makers, because with those shares the market maker will do the market making.
Sir, only one question. Is there any obligation on turnover basis from last 3 or 5 years?
Obligation on?
Turnover basis.
No, there is no obligation on turnover.
And how does the price band of the share gets decided?
How does?
Price band of the company gets decided.
Valuation. See,
Price band.
price band. See, we have got different price bands for the company which are going to get listed as far as market making is concerned. As far as valuation is concerned, the merchant banker and the promoter of the company will decide what will be the valuation of the company. Normally, the way the market works is it works on earning per share. Okay, on earning per share, and then they see that what is the P multiple in that sector. And accordingly, the valuation is arrived, and accordingly they decide what will be the price of the share.
And sir, one more thing. Is there any obligation on promoter stake as well?
They have to dilute minimum 25%. Okay. Maximum they can dilute anything.
Thank you.
See, as far as listing cost is concerned, that I think Mr. Madhuprasad is there. He will talk to you on that. But normally what we have seen is the cost range between 35 to 50 lakh, okay, up to 10 crore of issue or 15 crore of issue. But as far as BSE, again, the merchant banker will give more light on that. But as far as BSE concerned, we charge 50,000 rupees to the promoters. That's it.
Hello, good afternoon everyone. I just wanted to ask, where do we find these venture capitalists?
It's an excellent question because money is there with them and we have to go in search of them. It's a venture by itself. But the list of venture capitalists are available in the SEBI website where they are registered. And number two, most of the banks do have their venture capital outfit. In fact, I can share examples of venture funds' excellent performances. Like IFCI fund, the Industrial Finance Corporation of India, maybe as compared to the other two institutions, it was not so well recognized or respected. But nevertheless, the venture fund had done excellent job as far as any chemical industry or fertilizer industry is concerned, gave structured equity to them, and at 28 rupees and 29 rupees, gives you a class for a buyback also. And when it goes to the main board at 75 rupees, they could also offer their share for getting it listed. So there are very, very niche venture funds which do offer excellent support, including a Can Bank venture fund. They have been doing a wonderful job where they are looking at real make it happen India. They are giving money to see that they are also on the board and they also see that the company grows, which is a great thing. And Mr. Ajay Thakur had put the ball of cost of the issue to me, and it's a very, very critical point of view from raising resources. And whenever you raise resources, the first question you obviously ask is, what is going to be the cost? I mean, if it's going to be so very heavy, why should I venture into it? But I always tell them that if you are pricing an equity which you would have otherwise not priced at 30 rupees and 32 rupees and wanting to issue about 50 lakh shares or 35 lakhs of shares, what is wrong if you spend 3 rupees and 4 rupees per share? That is the way I look at it, because the merchant banker's fee is a fixed fee and there is a market making fee which takes place, and also the fee to the market makers and also the underwriter's fee that has to be paid, because we said underwriting is compulsory. The Companies Act has stipulated an underwriting commission percentage as 2.5% and a brokerage at 1.5. You have negotiation capability on brokerage you can make, and also in underwriting, negotiate and bring it to 3% instead of a 4%. And before we end, I think I can share with you a very small this thing, because I've been 35 years of running around and talking at various places, and in one of the places where I was to go, my very able assistant was also with me, and the audience which I was to address, and including the organizers, didn't know who I am and they could not recognize me. And my assistant immediately said, "Sir, I know what you speak, and why don't you allow me to speak today?" I told him, "Please go ahead." So he spoke, lot of applause, and when it got completed, the question and answer session started. And for all the question, he answered so well. And when a critical question was put in, he immediately said, he had a presence of mind, immediately said, "My assistant is sitting, he will answer the question." So thank you very much, and I hope in case of any problems, we are all there with you.
See, the only thing that I would like to add, that when Madhuprasad ji has started speaking, he said that I will be exchange neutral. But my request will be, please don't be exchange neutral. Get your company listed on BSE SME platform. Thank you.